The elders of both sects eyed each other's disciples like hawks. The Xuan Dao elders were smug. If these were the best the Heng Yue sect had, victory was assured. But sect head Huang Long was cunning. He had hidden his best disciples, and he had noticed something disturbing. The Xuan Dao sect had brought a secret weapon, a disciple hiding in the back whom even the others respected. Fine, Huang Long thought. If they sent asterisk him, then it's time to bring out our core disciples. He invited the elders into the main hall, leaving the disciples alone. Elder Su turned to Wang Zhuo. Take care of our guests. Wang Zhuo bowed smugly. Don't worry, teacher. The moment the elders left, the atmosphere relaxed. Female disciples swarmed the handsome Xuan Dao leader. Others chatted about cultivation. Wang Lin ignored the crowd. He sat on some steps watching the clouds, enjoying the peace. Sister Zhou joined him. Junior brother Wang, she said softly, congratulations on reaching the 3rd layer. You worked harder than anyone during the training. Wang Lin smiled. Don't sell yourself short, sister. She sighed. I reached the 3rd layer 3 years ago, but I haven't improved since. I can't sever my mortal ties. Maybe I'm not fit for this. Wang Lin looked at her. The road is ruthless, but cutting ties is hard. I can't do it either. Sister Zhou looked at him with beautiful, sad eyes. What ties can you not cut? Wang Lin thought of his parents, but stayed silent. Suddenly, he felt a malicious gaze. Wang Zhuo was staring at them, jealousy burning in his eyes. Friends of the Xuan Dao sect, Wang Zhuo shouted loudly. You said your centipede eats live animals. Let us take care of it. I have a junior brother here who is useless at cultivation. Feeding bugs is the perfect job for him. The handsome Xuan Dao leader hesitated. Brother Wang, that is dangerous. The centipede is wild. It might attack a stranger. Wang Zhuo waved his hand dismissively. Don't worry. How can a cultivator back down from danger? We insist. The Heng Yue disciples laughed, agreeing with Wang Zhuo. Leave it to us, they said. Wang Lin is useless at cultivation anyway. Feeding bugs suits him. The Xuan Dao disciples understood immediately. Wang Lin was the outcast, the trash. Sister Zhou shot Wang Zhuo a disgusted look. Junior brother, she whispered. He's only targeting you because I'm here, I'm sorry. Wang Lin shook his head. It wasn't just her. Wang Zhuo had hated him since day one. The whole sect mocked him for his suicide attempt and his sudden promotion, and now being stuck at the 3rd layer made him an easy target. Power is everything, Wang Lin reminded himself. He ignored the taunts and walked toward the 1,000-foot centipede. The beast lay motionless, its massive body covered in thorny rings and black spots. 2 long red whiskers swayed like snakes. As Wang Lin approached, the centipede opened its eyes. A cold, terrifying aura washed over him. Wang Lin shivered, but the spiritual energy in his body surged, instantly dispelling the cold. The centipede blinked in surprise. It gave him a thoughtful look before closing its eyes again. Wang Lin was intrigued. This beast was intelligent. He went into the mountains and caught some small animals. On his way back, he passed a group of Xuan Dao disciples led by Sun Hao. Sun Hao laughed loudly. Look at the mute trash. He failed every test and only got in by trying to kill himself. Then he sucked up to an elder to become an inner disciple. He's a joke. A pretty Xuan Dao girl giggled. Junior brother, those small animals aren't enough. You should catch a large worm. Centipedes love those. Wang Lin ignored them and returned to the beast. He threw the animals near its head. The creatures trembled in fear. The centipede opened its eyes, spat a cloud of black gas, and sizzle. In an instant, the animals dissolved into puddles of blood. The centipede sucked it up greedily. Wang Lin stepped back, his eyes gleaming. The poison of a centipede was related to its size. This monster was massive. Its poison must be terrifying. An idea began to form in his mind. The centipede was over 100 feet long. To others, it was a monster. To Wang Lin, it was a walking pharmacy. He remembered his childhood. His father had suffered from a cold poison that nearly killed him. A village doctor had used centipede poison to save him, but the root of the illness remained, causing his father pain whenever it rained. If the poison of a common bug could save a life, imagine what the poison of this spirit beast could do. It might cure his father completely. But how to get it without dying? Wang Lin recalled an old folk method. Feed the centipede a specific pill to induce vomiting. He needed ingredients. He headed to the pill house. At the side door, he saw Wang Hao sneaking out. Wang Hao signaled for silence, his eyes filled with fear. Wang Lin scanned the building with his divine sense and felt the 3rd elder inside, watching the furnace intently. They slipped away into the shadows. Once safe, Wang Hao leaned against a tree, gasping for breath. Wang Lin, what layer are you at now? He asked, hope flickering in his eyes. The third layer, Wang Lin replied, but Wang Hao, what is happening to you? Wang Lin scanned his friend. Wang Hao was at the first layer, but his energy flow was twisted. It wasn't nurturing his body, it was devouring his internal organs, sucking away his life essence. Wang Hao smiled bitterly. You saw through it. Wang Lin nodded. Tell me. Wang Hao clenched his fists. The third elder, Lu Yunji. He gave me a foundation establishment pill and a special cultivation manual. He said it was a reward. I was so happy. He threw a book to Wang Lin. But as I practiced, I got weaker. I investigated secretly. This isn't a normal technique. It's called the fire furnace trial. Wang Lin skimmed the book. His blood ran cold. This wasn't cultivation. It was a method to turn a human body into a vessel. It forced spiritual energy into a vortex that expanded until the host body collapsed. Why, Wang Lin asked, what does Lu Yunji gain? Wang Hao ground his teeth. He wants to use me as a pill furnace. When I die from this technique, he can harvest my body to make a pill that extends his life by 3 years. Wang Lin took a sharp breath. The third elder was a monster. I can't tell the sect head, Wang Hao whispered, tears in his eyes. As a pill helper, my life belongs to Lu Yunji by sect law, and he threatened my parents. He looked at the sky, his face full of despair. I have no control. Every day I am forced to take pills to feed the vortex. By my calculations, I only have 1 year left to live. Wang Lin pondered, do you have a plan? Do you need my help? Wang Hao shook his head sadly. You are only at the 3rd layer. Lu Yunji is at the 6th. He's powerful and loved by the elders. I've given up hope. He clenched his fists, tears welling up. Wang Lin, you are my only friend, my big brother. If you become stronger in the future, avenge me. Wang Lin stared at him and nodded. I will. Wang Hao smiled bitterly. Do you need anything? I have lots of qi-gathering pills. I can help you while I'm still alive. Wang Lin shook his head. He wanted materials for the centipede poison, but asking now would only endanger Wang Hao further. The enemy was too strong. Wang Lin had practiced for 20 years in the dream space, but he had never fought a real battle. He wasn't confident. Wang Hao sighed, patted his clothes, and walked away. Time passes too quickly, he muttered, disappearing into the shadows. Wang Lin looked at the sky. In the cultivation world, the strong prey on the weak. Is this really the only way? He wondered. An epiphany struck him. Not a sudden level up, but a cold, hard realization of the world's cruelty. If he wanted to survive, if he wanted to help his friend, he had to accept this truth. He turned back toward the guest rooms. A loud, bombastic voice drifted out. Brothers of Heng Yue sect, look at this peerless treasure. The Noon Money Sword. I stole this myself, but you have to promise not to use it in the competition. Wang Lin walked closer. A crowd had gathered around a Xuan Dao disciple named Li Shan. He was holding a glowing blue sword made entirely of coins. It's a fake, a Xuan Dao disciple coughed. But Li Shan didn't care. He sold it to a Heng Yue disciple who joked about using it to kill pigs. Li Shan laughed. I don't care what you do with it. Now behold my next treasure, the invincible dark stinking thunderball. He threw a black ball at the wall. Boom! Cracks appeared, and a dark mist exploded outward, filling the air with a foul, nauseating stench. Li Shan beamed proudly. My own invention, the power is low, but the sludge sticks forever. And the smell, made from dozens of rotten beasts, disgusting, right? The crowd recoiled, pinching their noses. Wang Lin scanned the sludge with his divine sense. His expression turned strange. This Li Shan was weird but clever. So Li Shan shouted, who wants one? Remember, don't use it in the competition. He chuckled internally. The more he told them not to use it, the more likely they were to throw it at his own sect members. It was going to be a great show. Li Shan's eyes lit up as he launched into his pitch. Killing an enemy is quick, he shouted, but disgracing them, that lasts 10,000 years. Imagine using this on a rival in love. If anyone tries to steal your woman, hit them with this, and she'll never go near him again. The inner disciples were hooked. The thought of humiliating love rivals resonated deeply. Li Shan turned his gaze to Wang Lin. He knew Wang Lin was considered trash here. Trash disciples were his best customers. This is perfect for brothers with lower cultivation, he declared. With a stink bomb in hand, who would dare bully you? Buy 2, get 1 free. Is it really that good? Sun Hao asked skeptically. Let me test one. Li Shan gently placed a dozen bombs on the ground. Be careful, they explode on impact. Sun Hao picked one up and threw it into a clearing. As it flew, Li Shan secretly triggered it with his spirit power. Boom! The bomb exploded, turning the ground black and filling the air with a foul stench. Wang Lin chuckled. His divine sense had caught Li Shan's trick. The bombs didn't explode on impact. Li Shan controlled them remotely. See, Li Shan beamed. Powerful, right? But I'm an honest man. It takes a special throwing technique. If it doesn't work, just practice. Sun Hao was convinced. He whispered to Li Shan and traded for 10 bombs. Li Shan threw in a few extras, grinning internally. Idiots, Li Shan thought. You'll fail a few times, then succeed once or twice because I let you. By the time you realize they're duds, I'll be long gone. And if you use them in the competition, oh, the show will be spectacular. I control when they blow. He looked around and saw Wang Lin smiling faintly. Brother, Li Shan called out, why don't you buy a few, perfect for someone with your cultivation? Wang Lin looked at him with a mocking expression. Li Shan paused. Did this trash see through his trick? No, impossible. He was only at the 3rd layer. Wang Lin nodded slowly. Okay, I'll take 2, but I only have talismans. Li Shan hesitated, checking Wang Lin's level again. Safe. Deal, Li Shan said, handing over 3 bombs. Buy 2, get 1 free. These will give you an extraordinary feeling. He laughed to himself. Oh, it would be extraordinary, all right. If Wang Lin ever held these bombs near him again, Li Shan would detonate them right in his face. Wang Lin thanked Li Shan, ignoring the man's veiled threats. Brother Li Shan, I won't bother you anymore, he said politely. Li Shan grinned. Remember, be careful, it takes a special technique. He turned back to the crowd. Who wants a keepsake from the He Huan sect? Get a beautiful girl with this. Wang Lin chuckled and walked away. Back in his room, he examined the 3 stink bombs. Under his divine sense, they were transparent. He saw a trace of Li Shan's own divine sense hidden inside, a remote detonator. Wang Lin had never thought of using divine sense like this. Inspired, he carefully wrapped his own sense around Li Shan's, gaining control without destroying it. Now he could detonate them too. This gave him an idea. Could he do the same with the mysterious stone bead? He rushed to a secluded spot in the mountains and entered the dream space. He poured his divine sense into the bead. 1 minute, 10 minutes, 30 minutes. Nothing changed. Wang Lin frowned. Can I really not leave my mark on it? Suddenly, one of the glowing lights in the void flared bright, then dimmed, then another, and another. Like a chain reaction, the entire dream space went dark. Stop looking, an old voice scoffed from the void. With your weak cultivation, trying to see through the heaven-defying bead is just wishful thinking. Wang Lin froze. He had been alone in this space for 30 years. He suppressed his shock and bowed. Junior is Wang Lin, who is senior. HMPH, you don't need to know my name, the voice grumbled. 30 years to reach the spiritual movement stage. Disappointing, and you only just thought to scan the bead. Wang Lin stayed silent. He realized this entity had been watching him the whole time. Your personality annoys me, the voice continued. Cultivation is about defiance. If someone insults you, kill them. If I were you, I would have wiped out that Wang Zhu and his entire family long ago. Wang Lin forced a smile. Senior, Don't interrupt, HMPH. That Zhang Hu was vicious, I liked him. And that Li Shan suits my tastes. But you ignore all the pretty girls in your sect. If I were you, I would have refined their souls for a snack. Haven't tasted one in 30 years. Wang Lin was dumbfounded. Brat, work harder, the voice snapped. Reach the soul transformation stage so I can get out of here. Senior, Wang Lin asked, confused. What is soul transformation and spiritual movement? Can't you think for yourself? The voice sighed. Fine, you are from a low-ranked country. You only know chi condensation, foundation establishment, core formation, and nascent soul. But in higher-ranked countries, there are more realms. Soul formation raises a country's rank to level 4. Soul transformation raises it to level 5. Spiritual movement is just another name for chi condensation, but broader. Wang Lin smiled bitterly. Soul transformation, that is too far away for me, senior. Bullshit, Sidunan barked. With me helping you, what is soul transformation? I've been feeding you my nascent soul essence for 30 years. Without it, with your trash talent, how could you have reached this stage? He paused, then sighed. I won't lie to you, kid. When I found this bead, I lost my body. I wanted to take yours, but this bead is a cage. It won't let me out until it has an owner, and the owner must be at the soul transformation stage. So cultivate faster. Sidunan whined. Help me find a new body. Sidunan will protect you and let you live a comfortable life. Wang Lin considered this. Before he could reply, Sidunan spoke again. Someone is coming, get out. Wang Lin woke up with a start. His divine sense picked up 2 disciples in the woods nearby, engaging in passionate activities. Wang Lin recognized them from the back mountain. He watched curiously for a moment before slipping away. 3 days later, the exchange began. The location was Pine Peak Mountain, connected by an arched stone bridge. A large stone platform sat at the peak, surrounded by 8 white jade pillars radiating ancient killing intent. Elder Aoyang of the Xuan Dao sect waved his hand, dispersing the pressure for his disciples. Sect head Huang Long smiled and deactivated the formation completely. According to the rules, Aoyang said, "We will send the first fighter. Liu Feng, go." Liu Feng, the handsome disciple with the pure water spirit roots, leaped onto the stage. Xuan Dao sect's Liu Feng asked for pointers, he announced. Wang Lin stood behind Sun Dazhu, carrying the ridiculous golden slab sword on his back. Sun Dazhu nodded in approval. At least his disciple looked majestic. Sect head Huang Long pointed to a silent disciple. "Zhao Long, you go." Zhao Long stepped forward. He was one of the disciples who had reached the 6th layer during the intense training. Sending a 6th layer disciple in the first round was a show of force. Elder Aoyang didn't even flinch. "Liu Feng," he said casually, "for this fight, I will allow you to use 50% of your power." The Heng Yue disciples gasped. 50%? Against a 6th layer expert? The insult was palpable. The Heng Yue disciples exploded with rage. "Tu Shui, beat him, Brother Zhao. Make that pretty boy pay." "They are making excuses in advance. Show them the power of Heng Yue." The elders remained silent, but their expressions darkened. Sun Dazhu leaned in and whispered to Wang Lin. "Watch closely, disciple. The Xuan Dao sect is more arrogant than ever. This will be intense." On the stage, Liu Feng stood calmly, his cultivation hidden by a black fog. "Brother Zhao," he said gently, "as my elder instructed, I will only use 50% of my power." Zhao Long, looking more like a mortal warrior than a cultivator, clasped his hands. "Please." He took a step forward. Suddenly, white lotuses bloomed around him, floating in the air. Slivers of sword chi radiated from them, creating a sharp wind. Sect head Huang Long nodded. "Mid-rank lotus blade, very good." The red-faced elder beamed. "Zhao Long is my favorite disciple. He picked this technique himself, 5 years to reach mid-rank." On stage, Zhao Long shouted, "Careful, Brother Liu." The white lotuses spun rapidly, raining a torrent of sword chi down on Liu Feng. Liu Feng didn't flinch. He formed a seal, water screen. The sky darkened. Water droplets materialized from thin air, gathering instantly into a shimmering, rainbow-colored barrier in front of him. Elder Aoyang of the Xuan Dao sect smiled. "Remember this, disciples. The water screen absorbs attacks. Unless you have a water spirit root like Liu Feng, do not hit it head-on." The sword chi slammed into the screen and vanished without a sound. Zhao Long froze. His attack had been completely absorbed. Liu Feng smiled. "Brother Zhao, you try it." The water rippled. Suddenly, the absorbed sword chi shot out from the screen, reflecting straight back at Zhao Long. Zhao Long scrambled backward, throwing out defensive talismans. A black mist rose to shield him, but the reflected chi was too fast. It pierced the mist. It pierced his body. Zhao Long flew through the air, coughing blood, and crashed heavily onto the ground. He struggled to rise, but failed. Silence fell over the Heng Yue side. Liu Feng stepped off the stage, dusting off his robes. As promised, 50% power. The red-faced elder rushed to Zhao Long, feeding him pills. His face was grim. "A water screen reflection?" he muttered. "Only someone at the 8th layer could break that by force. Defeat is normal." The Xuan Dao disciples cheered, their voices full of mockery. "Just a 6th layer disciple. I knew we would win." "Heng Yue is getting weaker every year. None of them are a threat." "Wait," one whispered. "We haven't seen their purple-clothed disciples yet. I heard those are their secret weapons." The Heng Yue disciples, fresh from training, had never seen such a bloody scene. They fell silent, uneasy. Sect head Huang Long's face was grim. Liu Feng's water screen was unbreakable by anyone below the 8th layer. This was only the first round. Sun Dazhu sucked in a cold breath. "Mother F*** seeker, that disciple is stronger than me. Why isn't my luck that good?" Wang Lin watched closely. He had seen through Liu Feng's cultivation, but the power of that technique was shocking. "Round 2, Elder Aoyang announced cheerfully. Your turn, friend Huang Long." Huang Long scanned his disciples. Everyone lowered their heads, terrified. Anger flared in his eyes. Just as he was about to speak, Sun Hao stepped forward. "Sect head," he said through gritted teeth, "I am only at the 4th layer, but I have a new technique. I can make them look bad." He thought of the stink bombs he bought from Li Shan. He had practiced a few times. He was ready. Huang Long sighed but nodded. "Go, let me see this new technique." Sun Hao stepped onto the stage. Sun Hao of Heng Yue asks for guidance. Li Shan, watching from the Xuan Dao side, almost burst a lung laughing. He winked at Elder Aoyang. Let me handle this. Yang knew Li Shan was cunning, so he agreed. Li Shan leaped onto the stage, grinning. Brother Sun Hao, show me your new move, I'll take it head-on. Sun Hao hesitated, then summoned a flying sword. Go. As the sword flew, he pulled out several stink bombs. See my new technique. Li Shan laughed, easily dodging the sword. Then he sent a mental command. Explode. Boom. The bombs in Sun Hao's hands detonated instantly. Black ash and a putrid stench exploded outward, engulfing him. Sun Hao stood there, dumbfounded, covered in sludge. Why did they explode so early? Li Shan shook his head mockingly. Brother Sun, your self-destruct technique is powerful, but you use too much force. The Xuan Dao disciples roared with laughter. The Heng Yue disciples bit their lips to keep from joining in. Sect head Huang Long waved his hand furiously. A gust of wind blew the stench away, and Sun Hao along with it, tossing him off the mountain. A loss is a loss, Huang Long growled. Continue. Elder Aoyang chuckled. Su Mu, you go. A Xuan Dao disciple stepped up. Huang Long didn't call another inner disciple. Instead, he crushed a piece of jade. A flash of blue light erupted on the stage. 3 figures in purple robes appeared. The pressure they released was immense. The inner disciples gasped. One of the men, 40 years old, spoke coldly. Xuan Dao sect, 20 years ago I Lu Song lost. This time I won't. Wang Lin's eyes narrowed. Among the 3 was Zhang Quang. Lu Song, the disciples whispered. 5th senior brother. He was at the 6th layer 20 years ago. We will win for sure. The crowd erupted in cheers for Lu Song. Number 1 genius. The Heng Yue disciples roared, show them our power. Even Wang Zhu looked on with jealousy. Lu Song was a legend. But Elder Aoyang of the Xuan Dao sect remained calm. Su Mu, he said darkly, I allow you to remove the ancestor's seal. Use your full power. Su Mu ripped open his shirt, revealing a glowing yellow talisman on his chest. The Heng Yue elders froze. They recognized the aura. Friend Aoyang, what is this? Sect head Huang Long asked. Aoyang's eyes gleamed. Huang Long, I'll be direct. If we win today, you will lend us Heng Yue Mountain for 500 years. Are you joking? Huang Long's eyes narrowed. No joke, Aoyang replied coldly. An ancestor of our sect returned from the rank 4 battlefield. He brought news. All the ancestors of the Heng Yue sect are dead. Silence slammed into the Heng Yue disciples like a physical blow. Their protectors were gone. Sun Daju's face turned pale. It's over, he muttered. Without the ancestors, we are nothing. Huang Long forced down his panic. Stop this nonsense. Lu Song, continue. Lu Song attacked, spitting a purple fog that formed a giant hand. Su Mu countered with golden balls, but the hand swatted them away. Desperate, Su Mu activated the yellow talisman. He bit his tongue, spraying blood onto it. A blinding light erupted, dissolving the giant hand instantly. Wang Lin watched in shock. He had a talisman just like that, the one Zhang Hu gave him. It was a magic treasure. Lu Song frowned and summoned 2 white dragons to finish Su Mu off. Victory seemed certain. Suddenly, a cold snort echoed from the Xuan Dao side. A black rainbow shot out, wrapping around the white dragons. Crack! The dragons shattered, reverting to broken silver swords. Lu Song coughed blood, his connection to the swords severed. He stumbled back, horrified. Su Mu scrambled away, alive only by luck. Sect head Huang Long roared in anger. Xuan Dao sect, you go too far. The elders drew their weapons, furious at the interference. But Elder Aoyang just turned to the middle-aged man in the back of his group, the one who had launched the black rainbow. This round goes to Heng Yue, Aoyang said nervously. As for what just happened. Old man Aoyang, shut up. The middle-aged man interrupted, walking forward slowly. With every step he took, the ground cracked beneath his feet. Heng Yue sect is mediocre, he declared, his voice shaking the mountain. The middle-aged man, Zhou Peng, stepped onto the cracked stage. He looked at the Heng Yue disciples with pure arrogance. Come at me all at once, he sneered. I, Zhou Peng, will take you all on. The crowd went into an uproar. Elder Aoyang shouted, this is our head disciple. If any Heng Yue disciple can last 10 seconds against him, Heng Yue wins. Zhang Quang's eyes lit up. He leaped onto the stage. Arrogant kid, I'll test you. Zhou Peng laughed. You hide your strength at the 8th layer, but you are still too weak. He waved his hand. A black snake erupted from his sleeve, growing instantly into a giant python. It opened its maw and inhaled. A terrifying suction force locked onto Zhang Quang. He couldn't resist. Like a kite with a broken string, he flew straight into Zhou Peng's grasp. Zhou Peng grabbed him by the throat. Go back and train for a few dozen years. He threw Zhang Kuang off the stage like a rag doll. Sect head Huang Long felt his heart turn to ice. Zhou Peng was at least at the 10th layer. Even their own head disciple might not win. It's over, Huang Long whispered. We have no hope. On stage, Zhou Peng scanned the terrified crowd. Who is next? The inner disciples lowered their heads, trembling. No one dared to move. Except for one. Wang Lin stood in the crowd, his expression calm, staring directly at Zhou Peng. Zhou Peng locked eyes with him. What, you want to come up? Suddenly, all eyes turned to Wang Lin. Elder Su saw an opportunity. Sect head, Wang Lin, you go. Sun Dazhu exploded with rage. Dao Su, you are shameless. My disciple is only at the 3rd layer. You just want a scapegoat because you're afraid your own disciples will get hurt. You want to sacrifice my disciple to save face. Dao Su frowned but didn't deny it. Sect head Huang Long sighed, his voice heavy with defeat. Junior brother, Sun, say no more. Wang Lin, go up. Sun Dazhu threw his sleeve in anger, looking at the sky with a mocking smile. The sect had abandoned them. Wang Lin clasped his hands. His face was expressionless. As you command. He walked slowly onto the stage. The Xuan Dao disciples jeered loudly. Shameless, sending trash to fight our head disciple. Brother Zhou, be gentle. Don't kill the poor garbage. Sect head Huang Long didn't even watch. He waved his sleeve and turned to leave, accepting the loss. The other elders followed suit, shaking their heads. They were leaving Wang Lin alone on the stage to be humiliated. Zhou Peng laughed arrogantly. Wang Lin, I can knock you down with one breath. Steady yourself. He inhaled deeply, his body becoming a vortex. The wind howled, flapping the clothes of every spectator. Wang Lin had never fought before. He was nervous. He concentrated all his power into his attraction force technique. For insurance, he pulled out a stink bomb. He dissolved Li Shan's hidden control and tossed it. Bang! The bomb exploded. Zhou Peng flew out of the black smoke, slamming heavily onto the ground, covered in sludge and stench. The giant python vanished. The Heng Yue sect froze. Sect head Huang Long stopped mid-stride. Thunder seemed to crash in his ears. No way. When did Wang Lin become this strong? Elder Dao Su rubbed his eyes. That is Wang Lin, the trash. Sun Dazhu slapped his own face. I'm hallucinating. Illusion, this is an illusion. Wang Zhu stared blankly. Trash, trash. He shook his head, refusing to believe his eyes. The Xuan Dao sect was equally stunned. Elder Aoyang's eyes bulged. Zhou Peng was their secret ace, a genius at the 13th layer, defeated by trash. It must be a mistake. He was careless. Only Li Shan knew the truth. He collapsed to the ground, terrified. It's over. I sold him that bomb. He used it on the head disciple. Zhou Peng will kill me. Li Shan wailed internally. The sludge takes 6 months to wash off. The smell takes a month in a wind tunnel. I'm finished. Suddenly, Zhou Peng woke up, roaring in fury. Li Shan, I will not forgive you. Li Shan cried out, Senior brother, I was wrong, forgive me. Zhou Peng ignored him. He leaped back onto the stage, dripping with sludge and reeking of rot. That didn't count, he screamed at Wang Lin. I wasn't ready, you attacked early, we fight again. And this time, no sneak attacks. Zhou Peng was furious. He refused to believe he had lost to a 3rd-layer disciple. Careless, I was careless, he screamed, that didn't count. He summoned the giant python again, forming a seal with shaking hands. Wang Lin didn't speak. He simply activated his attraction force technique. A whine echoed in the air as the python vanished instantly. An invisible force slammed into Zhou Peng's face. P.A. Zhou Peng flew backward, coughing blood. His cheek swelled up instantly. He scrambled to his feet, eyes wild with rage. He ripped off his shirt and tore the suppression talisman from his chest. His energy exploded outward. He wasn't at the 10th layer, he was at the 12th. Wang Lin, he roared, that didn't count. I didn't use my full power, let's fight. Wang Lin didn't wait. He swiped his hand through the air again. P.A. Another invisible slap hit Zhou Peng mid-sentence. He spun in the air, blood spraying from his mouth, and crashed into the ground. He struggled to rise, but the shame and the spiritual chaos in his body were too much. He passed out cold. The Pine Peak fell into a deathly silence. Sect head Huang Long stared, his heart pounding like thunder. This wasn't a dream. Wang Lin, the suicide attempt disciple, had just slapped the Xuan Dao sect's genius into unconsciousness. Ecstasy filled Huang Long's heart. Wang Lin is our lucky star. He hid his strength so deep. I need to question him later. Sun Dazhu gasped for air. He realized the truth. Wang Lin has secrets. That gourd wasn't the only one. You deceived me well, disciple. Wang Zhu stood frozen, his face like a wax statue. The words trash echoed in his mind, mocking him. The person he had bullied for years was a monster who could crush him with a finger. Terror gripped his heart. The other disciples were equally terrified. He was playing the pig to eat the tiger, one thought. I used to mock him. Another panicked, I'm dead. He's the black-hearted king for a reason. But amidst the shock, a dark thought formed in the mind of the third elder of the pill house, Lu Yunji. He looked at Wang Lin, then thought of his helper, Wang Hao. This is bad, Lu Yunji thought, sweat forming on his brow. Wang Lin and Wang Hao are relatives. If Wang Lin finds out I'm using Wang Hao as a human furnace, I will face his wrath. Lu Yunji's eyes turned cold. I cannot let Wang Hao live. After this exchange, I must kill him immediately and make it look like an accident. Zhang Kuang stood in shock, his mind racing. He had bought spirit water from a mysterious figure years ago. He had analyzed it and discovered it didn't just contain spiritual energy, it could grant eternal youth. He had searched for the seller, suspecting it might be Wang Lin, but had dismissed the idea because of Wang Lin's low cultivation. Now watching Wang Lin slap the Xuan Dao genius into unconsciousness, Zhang Kuang knew it was him. A chill ran down his spine. He remembered lifting Wang Lin up the cliff. He remembered their encounter by the river. If he had tried anything then, he would be dead. The secret of the spirit water dies with me, Zhang Kuang vowed. Wang Lin is a monster. I will never cross him. Meanwhile, the Xuan Dao disciples were in chaos. Liu Feng's jaw dropped. Senior brother Zhou Peng is at the 12th layer. If he lost in one move, has Wang Lin reached foundation establishment? Liu Mei's eyes sparkled. She was right. Wang Lin had secrets. The other disciples whispered frantically. What technique was that? One asked. It looked like the attraction force technique. Impossible, another argued. That's the lowest level spell. It can't be that powerful. It must be a lost ancient technique disguised as a simple wave. They turned to the elders for answers. Elder Aoyang's face was bitter. He couldn't see through Wang Lin's cultivation either. With his 14th layer strength, Wang Lin still looked like a 3rd layer weakling. That meant Wang Lin was either using a powerful treasure to hide his level, or he was far stronger than Aoyang himself. Elder, what technique was that? The disciples pleaded. Aoyang hesitated. He couldn't admit he didn't know. It would be humiliating. He sighed sagely. That is not the attraction force technique. I suspect it is the long-lost dragon capture hand. Dragon capture hand? The other two elders gasped, pretending to understand. They had never heard of it, but they nodded gravely to save face. Aoyang sighed internally. I just made that up, but who can prove me wrong? The Heng Yue disciples forgot the word trash. Xuan Dao trash, they roared. Why aren't you coming out? Where did your arrogance go? Send someone up so Brother Wang can teach them a lesson. Brother Wang is invincible. Li Shan, you bastard, your stink bombs failed. Apologies to Senior Brother Wang. You are now my boss. If you say go east, I won't go west. Wang Lin stood tall on the stage. The title Senior Brother fit him perfectly now. Elder Aoyang's face turned from red to white. He finally tasted the bitterness Huang Long had felt earlier. Yang Yi, he barked, you go. Yang Yi, a tall, thin youth, walked up reluctantly. He cursed Aoyang in his heart, sending me to fight the guy who one-shotted our head disciple and who has unlimited stink bombs. He shot Li Shan a hateful glare. Li Shan shrank back, whimpering. On stage, Yang Yi bowed deeply. Brother Wang, you are so handsome, your cultivation is so high, it is a privilege to fight you. Wang Lin stared at him silently. Yang Yi continued, shameless. Since it's a friendly exchange, how about we fight by touch? If I last 100 seconds, I win. He paused, seeing Wang Lin's gaze. No, 50 seconds, actually, 30, let's do 20 seconds. The Heng Yue disciples booed. Shameless, 20 seconds. Get off the stage, you aren't worthy. Sect head Huang Long beamed. Junior brother Dazhu, your disciple is very good. Son Dazhu puffed out his chest, feeling lighter than air. That is true, I saw his potential from day one. Good thing no one fought me for him. The other elders blushed, knowing they had mocked him for taking the trash disciple. Huang Long silenced them with a look. You have done a great service, Dazhu. I will handle them for you. Son Dazhu smiled, but his eyes were cold. Wang Lin, you have hidden too much. On stage, Yang Yi waited anxiously. Okay, Wang Lin said simply. Yang Yi cheered internally. He wasn't arrogant like Zhou Peng. He specialized in speed. He crushed a piece of jade, enveloping himself in white light. He shot to the side, moving like a blur, intent on running out the clock. Wang Lin smiled. His divine sense tracked Yang Yi effortlessly. He raised his hand, attraction force ready, and pulled out another stink bomb. Yang Yi's face went pale. He accelerated desperately. Li Shan watched from the sidelines, praying, "Grandpa Wang, please don't use it. If I anger the second senior brother too, I'm dead." Li Shan's prayers went unanswered. Wang Lin's eyes flashed. The attraction force technique surged out, forming an invisible hand that clamped around Yang Yi midair. At the same time, Wang Lin tossed the stink bomb. It flew in a perfect arc. Bang! It exploded right on Yang Yi's head. Yang Yi felt space tighten around him. He was paralyzed, suspended in the air, his face covered in black sludge and reeking of rot. Panic set in. He realized he couldn't run. "I'll lose no matter what Yang Yi thought. Fine, I'll go all out." Wang Lin smiled faintly. 10 seconds left. Continue. Yang Yi gritted his teeth. He spat out a mouthful of red light. It transformed into a flying sword, charging at Wang Lin. Simultaneously, he threw a handful of offensive talismans. Wang Lin sneered. He waved his hand. The invisible force swept out, shattering the talismans instantly. Then the invisible hand grabbed the red flying sword. The sword buzzed, struggling. Wang Lin sensed the mental connection Yang Yi had with the blade. He erased it with a thought. Then he clenched his fist. Crack! The flying sword snapped in half and fell to the ground. Yang Yi coughed up blood, his connection severed. He stumbled back, pale and defeated. "Brother Wang," he gasped, "I do not admit defeat to you, but to your ancient technique, the dragon capture hand." Wang Lin was stunned. "Dragon capture hand? I've never heard of it." "Don't deny it," Yang Yi shouted. "My uncle master saw through it." He walked off the stage, the Xuan Dao disciples parting to avoid his stench. Elder Aoyang coughed, his face red. "Junior Wang Lin," he said stiffly, "that is indeed the dragon capture hand, a lost ancient technique, unexpected for Heng Yue sect to possess it." He had to lie. Admitting his disciples were being crushed by a basic attraction spell was too humiliating. Wang Lin remained silent. He finally understood his own strength. Sidu Nan had told him he was at the spiritual movement stage, equivalent to the 14th layer of qi condensation. He was only one step away from the peak. The heaven-defying bead had desynchronized his body, making him look like he was at the 3rd layer, but his power was real. And 20 years of practicing, the attraction force had turned a basic spell into a weapon. Sect head Huang Long saw the opportunity. "Wang Lin," he asked loudly, "is this really an ancient technique?" Wang Lin shook his head. "No, sect head, it is clearly the attraction force technique." Huang Long laughed, turning to the Xuan Dao elders. "Friend Aoyang, your disciples can't even defend against our most basic spell, so you invent a fancy name to save face." Elder Aoyang looked ready to vomit blood. Dao Su chimed in. "Sect head, I like the name. Let's rename our attraction technique to the dragon capture hand." Huang Long roared with laughter. "Good idea. Thank you, Xuan Dao sect, for the name." On the stage, Wang Lin pondered. He had won 3 times, but his opponents were too weak. He couldn't test his true limits. He looked at the trembling Xuan Dao disciples. He needed more pressure. "Fellow senior brothers of the Xuan Dao sect," Wang Lin said calmly. "All of you, come up at once." The Xuan Dao disciples were furious but paralyzed by fear. None dared to step forward. Wang Lin laughed, mimicking the arrogance Zhou Peng had shown earlier. "Are you all too scared to come up at once?" The Heng Yue disciples erupted in cheers. "Trash of Xuan Dao, where is your arrogance now? Brother Wang is invincible. Even his spit can drown you. Liu Feng, come out and die." The taunts broke the Xuan Dao sect's patience. One disciple screamed, "Wang Lin, you asked for this. Brothers, let's get him." "Yes, he asked for it. It's not against the rules." Elder Aoyang gritted his teeth. "Since Heng Yue requested it, whoever wants to go, go." Immediately 3 disciples jumped on stage. Then 7 more. Soon, a dozen Xuan Dao disciples surrounded Wang Lin, weapons drawn. Wang Lin didn't flinch. He waved his hand, and the attraction force swept out like a giant invisible broom. Several disciples were swatted away instantly. Wang Lin moved with practiced ease, his control refined by decades in the dream space. He grabbed disciples like flies and tossed them off the stage. Screams filled the air, bodies flew left and right. Soon only 3 remained. One was Liu Feng. Wang Lin laughed and pulled out his last stink bomb. Liu Feng's face went pale. "Brother Wang, mercy, I surrender." He scrambled off the stage, terrified of becoming the next sludge-covered victim. Su Mu followed suit. Only Li Shan was left. He stood there, face filled with tragic determination. Wang Lin, come on, use the last bomb on me. Li Shan had a plan. If he got bombed like his seniors, maybe they would pity him instead of beating him later. Wang Lin smiled faintly. He put the bomb away. This is a treasure. I won't waste it on you. He grabbed Li Shan with an invisible hand and tossed him off the stage like a baby chick. Elder Aoyang looked ready to die of shame. Sect head Huang Long beamed. Friend Aoyang, who is the winner? Aoyang snorted, throwing a bag of holding to Huang Long. You win, but my words are true. Your ancestors are dead. Goodbye. He summoned the 1,000-foot centipede. The humiliated Xuan Dao disciples boarded the beast. Wait, Wang Lin shouted. He flew forward, blocking the centipede's path. Elder Aoyang glared at him. What now? Wang Lin looked at the massive beast. I have an unreasonable demand. I would like to borrow some poison from your centipede. The Xuan Dao disciples exploded in rage. Don't push us too far. That is our guardian spirit beast. You are too arrogant. Aoyang sneered. Scram Jr., I can't be bothered with you. Sect head Huang Long and the elders flew up to support Wang Lin. Friend Aoyang, don't be so stingy, Huang Long said. It's just a bit of poison. Aoyang's expression darkened. It is about respect. A junior dares to block my path. Wang Lin hesitated. He needed the poison for his father. Elder Aoyang, he said earnestly, I only want a little. I promise not to hurt it. I am willing to exchange something for it. Elder Aoyang scoffed. You are a junior. What right do you have to trade with me? Unless you have the founder's treasure, forget it. Wang Lin frowned. He activated his attraction force technique to its limit. Aoyang's face changed. Junior, you dare. He summoned a giant wind sword, slashing down with killing intent. He intended to cripple Wang Lin's cultivation right there. Sect head Huang Long reacted instantly, drawing his own sword. But Wang Lin didn't need help. His invisible force solidified into two giant, glowing white hands. One hand grabbed the 1,000-foot centipede by the neck. The other rose up and caught Aoyang's giant sword in midair. The sword stopped dead. Aoyang stared in horror. The other two Xuan Dao elders attacked. One spat a rainbow ribbon, the other threw ghostly fireballs. Wang Lin's expression remained calm. He summoned another hand, creating a whirlwind that dispersed the fire. Huang Long roared, his purple moon sword intercepting the rainbow ribbon. The Heng Yue elders jumped into the fray, blocking the Xuan Dao attacks. Wang Lin ignored the chaos. His giant hand squeezed the centipede's neck. He placed his own hand on its head and surged his spiritual energy. The beast howled in pain and coughed out a stream of black mist, pure poison. Disciple Wang Lin, Elder Dao Su shouted, throwing a white bottle, use this. Wang Lin caught the bottle, using his spiritual energy to guide the poison inside. Heng Yue sect, you've gone too far, Liang screamed. Huang Long and his elders backed off, the deed done. Wang Lin clasped his hands, looking regretful but firm. Elder Aoyang, this poison is vital to me. I promise to trade. He threw a jade bottle to Aoyang. It was filled with the spiritual river water from the back mountain. Aoyang caught it, sensing the dense spiritual energy. He grunted. Heng Yue has a good disciple, he muttered. Goodbye. Before leaving, he sent a mental message to Wang Lin. Nephew Wang, I will let this go, but remember your ancestors are dead. Heng Yue is doomed. Stay at your own risk. The centipede flew north. Wang Lin noticed a pair of beautiful eyes watching him from its back, Liu Mei, but he was too distracted by Aoyang's warning to care. Sect head Huang Long beamed. We won, all inner disciples will be rewarded. Follow Wang Lin's example. The disciples cheered. No one called him trash anymore. Wang Zhu approached his teacher, defeated. Teacher, I want to enter the life and death passage. I need to hide from Wang Lin. Elder Dao Su sighed and nodded. Huang Long turned to Wang Lin. Come with me. Wang Lin nodded, but before leaving, he locked eyes with the third elder of the pill house. Third elder, wait a moment. Lu Yunji, the third elder of the pill house, shivered. He forced a smile, sweat beading on his forehead. Brother Wang, do you need some pills? I have plenty. Wang Lin stared at him coldly. I want your helper, Wang Hao. Lu Yunji's face turned pale. He's important to my work, I can't agree. Sect head Huang Long frowned. It's just a helper, Lu Yunji, give him up. Lu Yunji gritted his teeth. I can't, Wang Hao is all ready. Wang Lin didn't wait. He shot toward the pill house like a bolt of lightning. Huang Long and the bewildered elders followed. Wang Lin burst into the back room. Inside, a giant furnace glowed. Wang Hao sat cross-legged within it, his life force fading rapidly. Rage exploded in Wang Lin's heart. He activated his attraction force, creating a giant hand to grab his friend. A rainbow barrier from the furnace tried to block him, but Wang Lin shattered it with a single thought. He pulled Wang Hao out and laid him on the ground, pumping spiritual energy into his body to stabilize him. The red-faced elder arrived and gasped, "Fire furnace trial." Dao Su threw Lu Yunji to the ground. "You have guts, using forbidden techniques on a sect member." Lu Yunji knelt, trembling. "I've been stuck at the 6th layer for 25 years. I needed to break through. Wang Hao is my helper. Sect rules say I can do whatever I want with him. He isn't a disciple." Wang Lin snorted, his eyes cold. Huang Long frowned. This was difficult. Wang Lin was their new genius, but Lu Yunji was a loyal veteran. Junior brother Dao Su, Huang Long said, "You handle the discipline." Dao Su nodded. "Lu Yunji will go into seclusion for 20 years. Huang Long turned to Wang Lin. "Wang Hao will be made an inner disciple as compensation. And you, Wang Lin, you cannot seek revenge. We are all one sect." Wang Lin looked at Lu Yunji, eyes burning, but he nodded. Disciple obeys. Huang Long led Wang Lin away to the main hall. Once alone, his demeanor changed. "Wang Lin, you have guts." Wang Lin remained calm. "Just ask, sect head." "What technique did you really use?" Wang Lin smiled. "Attraction force technique. Look." He levitated every chair and table in the room, swirling them effortlessly before placing them back down. Huang Long stared. It looked like the basic spell, but the power was absurd. "And your cultivation?" Huang Long pressed. "You look like you're at the 3rd layer, but your power is immense. What is your true level?" Wang Lin put on a confused face. "Disciple doesn't know. I just kept cultivating and it became like this." Huang Long sighed. He couldn't force the boy. Wang Lin was their hero now. "Fine," Huang Long said, softening. "What was in the bottle you gave the Xuan Dao sect?" Wang Lin chuckled, handing over 2 small bottles. "Just river water from the back mountain, sect head. You should know it better than I do." Sect head Huang Long confiscated the bottles of river water. "Go rest," he told Wang Lin. "Tomorrow I will take you to the scripture library to find a technique." Wang Lin left, excited. Once he was gone, Huang Long bowed to the shadows. Elder Shangyuan. A skinny old man in a blue robe stepped out. He was one of the 10 foundation-building elders of the sect. "He didn't speak a word of truth," Shangyuan said gloomily, "but the water is real, and the technique." He paused. It was indeed the attraction force technique, but mastered to a terrifying degree. "I estimate he is at the 14th layer of qi condensation. He is close to foundation establishment." Huang Long gasped, "But he has secrets." Shangyuan shrugged. "The sect is in danger. Let him have his secrets. If the ancestors are truly dead, we need strength." Wang Lin walked back to the herb garden. He felt the shift in how people treated him. Strength really was everything. He entered the garden. Sun Dazhu rushed over, beaming with a fake smile. "Good disciple, you are back. I made you some top-quality recovery tea." He held out a cup. Wang Lin paused. The attitude change was too fast. He scanned the tea with his divine sense. There were fluctuations of spiritual energy inside. "I am tired," Wang Lin said coldly. "I won't drink." Sun Dazhu panicked slightly. "Then sleep in my room. You must be exhausted." Wang Lin turned to leave. He felt a cold gaze on his back. He spun around. "Teacher, you look nervous." Sun Dazhu stepped back. I am just nervous because you are stronger than me now." Wang Lin pointed at the cup. "Teacher, drink the tea." Sun Dazhu's face stiffened. He forced a smile. "Fine, I'll drink it." He downed the tea, but Wang Lin saw him wrap the liquid in spiritual energy to keep it from absorbing. Sun Dazhu threw the cup down. "Done, now the sect head needs me. I must go." He turned to run. Wang Lin moved like lightning. He appeared next to his master and slapped his chest. The strike shattered Sun Dazhu's concentration. The spiritual energy protecting his stomach dispersed, and the tea absorbed instantly into his blood. Sun Dazhu froze. His eyes went dull. Wang Lin stared at him. It was the 3-thread nematode grass, a poison used to turn people into puppets. "Why?" Wang Lin asked. Sun Dazhu's voice was monotone. "I wanted your secrets. I wanted your gourds. Years ago, I gave you spiritual energy scattering grass to destroy your cultivation potential. I wanted to search your soul." Wang Lin took a deep breath. His master had been poisoning him from the very beginning. "Did the sect head call you?" Wang Lin asked. "No," the puppet replied. Wang Lin's eyes flashed with killing intent. He slammed his palm onto Sun Dazhu's head. Blood poured from his master's 7 orifices. Sun Dazhu collapsed dead. Wang Lin stood over the body. It was his first kill, and it was his teacher. He felt no regret. only a cold, hard resolve.